note, views and opinions expressed in the course of this program do not represent that of OTV. Therefore, this channel is not liable to any legal action that may result from this program.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ tí mo wà ní iléeṣẹ́ kan ní Wo TV wípé aláràgbà ìdániwá a tún ti gbé ń tẹ́ mọ́ jẹ́dé o ní báyìí ẹ tẹ̀lé mi ká lọ o nítorí pé a ti lọ a ti bọ̀ a ti gbá àjọ àti ilé àtọ̀nà àgbé ń tẹ́ ìmọ̀ jẹ àti gbé dé tó nínú fọ́nrán ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí ni o tí mo fẹ́ ṣe àfihàn ẹ̀ fún yìí níbẹ̀ ni ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ abáàdì àbámi ló ti wáyé àmọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́kọ́ lọ wo fọ́nrán yìí náà bàbá wa wò ó ta gbádùn ẹ̀ dáadáa tá bá wá padà dé á tẹ̀síwájú lórí ètò àti kí làwọn àlàyé tó jẹ́ ká ṣe fúnra wa lórí ẹ̀ ó ti yá ẹjẹ́ àjọ lọ wò kájọ gbọ́n tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ńbẹ̀.
My phone when I woke up that morning, and then I put on my data and I was getting messages. So a particular message got my attention. This message came with his picture, and it was the same picture as his profile picture then on Facebook.
Who is that?
Aposteli Chibuzor.
Okay.
So I was like, could Daddy send me a message in the night? Oh, let me see what it is. So I click on the message. At first, I thought maybe because I know so many people use these pictures for their profile picture. So when I clicked on it, it took me to his page. Then I came back to the message. And what was there was, see me later today, we need to talk. That was the content of the message.
Can you remember the date the message was sent? Is it possible?
I can't remember the dates, but this was between March, April 2019.
Okay, was this sent to the same Facebook you're using now or what?
No. That my Facebook account was hacked a long time ago.
Okay.
Yes. So he now sent me that message. So when I saw that message, in my mind I was like, why did he have to send me a message when once it's morning I'll still get to see him and everything? But I didn't think about it that much, and I did not reply to that message. So I just let it be. By morning, when everybody had woken up, freshen up, and everyone gets to see. So normally when the children are done taking their breakfast, they are always with him. So sometimes they are with him in his room. So when I was done with what I was doing that morning, I also went to his room. I greeted him, he answered me, and I was like, Daddy, I didn't hide to say it to him. The children were there, and I said it. Daddy, I saw your message. You said I should see you. I hope I did not do anything wrong. So he actually signaled for me to be quiet.
He did that?
Yes. And inside me, I wasn't a child. So I felt somehow about that. But I still did not want to think much because of who he is. And then he now asked the children, who wants to swim? Everybody were like, me, I want to swim. So he now said, okay, all of you can go and swim.
There's a swimming pool in his house.
Yes, there's a swimming pool in his house. So I had to join the children. I say, me too, I want to swim. I joined the children to leave. And he was like, everybody except Lovett.
That's you?
Yes. Sorry. Amen. Go, tell her to give you biscuits. Okay, she'll give it to you. Okay. So he was like, everybody except Lovett. And I stayed back. At some point, I felt scared. And then the children left. He asked me to sit. At this point, it was just me and him in his room. I felt somehow, and I asked him, Daddy, this one is only me and you. I hope nothing is wrong, or did I do anything wrong? He was like, no, don't be scared. So he asked me to sit, and I did. He asked me to switch off my phone. I was still feeling somehow because I wasn't understanding. Like, before that day, there has never been any sign whatsoever that I have never behaved in any bad way whatsoever to him in the house. So, to me, I felt somehow, but then I had to sit. And then he was just looking at me. I was like, Daddy, why are you looking at me? Is there a problem? Did I do anything wrong? He said no, that he wanted to talk to me. I said, okay. He now started talking. He was saying different things in parable, saying different things. I now said, because the way more he was talking, I was feeling scared. I was not scared, not like maybe I haven't heard those words before. I was scared because it was coming from him.
From words like what? Can you just example?
Okay. He said, the first thing he said was that he wants to talk to me, but that he wants to make an instance. That let us say that I always eat banana. Whenever I am done eating, I always eat. They will give me banana to eat. So after a while, they stopped giving me this banana. So One day, after so many years, I now see this banana from somebody and I want to eat it. But I cannot buy this banana. But I really want this banana. That's, if I find myself in such situation, that what will I do?
Who is saying this thing?
Yes. That I stop there, please. He said, if I find myself in such situation, what will I do?
Who is saying this?
Aposteli Chibuzor.
Okay.
I said,
and you were the only one there?
It was just me and him in the room.
In his private room?
Sorry?
His bedroom?
Yes, in his bedroom.
Okay.
In his bedroom. Come stay with Auntie Mary, okay? Okay. So, this was in his bedroom. And I was like, I told him, if I was in that situation, I've seen the banana I want to eat, but I cannot buy it. I'll simply ask the person that is with banana to give it to me. He now said, okay, that what if it will be very, very difficult for that person to give it to me, or the person might reject me, but I really want it. I said, I just have to beg first. Since I can't buy it, I just have to beg first. So he kept asking.
How old were you then?
I think I was 18 then.
18 years, okay.
Yes. So I kept asking. He kept asking questions based on it. So at some point, I was getting frustrated because I did not want to assume where he was going to. I now asked him, I said, Daddy, please, the question is too much. Tell me what it is. Like, is there something you want to say you're not able to say, or something? Just say it. Let me hear. He now said, okay, that he wants me to do something for him. This thing needs to be very difficult for me to do it. But he knows that if I want to do it, I can do it. So at that point, he was not shifting somewhere else. I was like, Daddy, I've not seen you beg somebody for help before. So if you ever need help, I don't think anybody will reject you from giving you help, because you've always helped everybody. He now said, okay, now that's okay. Let him tell me what it is. What if he asks me to go into a relationship with him? That what will I say? At that point, my assumption, everything that was in my head came to the conclusion and everything. I was confused. I didn't know what to answer, not because of what he said, but because it was coming from him. I was already sweating. There was AC in the room, but I was sweating and I was scared at the same time. So I was like, I don't understand. But Daddy, you know, there is somebody I want to get married to, and you're aware. So why are you actually asking me to do something like this? Why will you ask me to do something like this? What will I tell him? He said you don't have to tell him. He doesn't have to know. You just keep it between us. I was like, Even if you're asking me to go into a relationship with you, what kind of relationship exactly? He said I should come on, I should stop talking like I'm a child. Or why am I talking like I don't know what I said, no, I don't want to assume. You have to say what you want. So what kind of a relationship are you talking about? He said, okay, since I want him to say it, that he is actually looking for a sexual relationship. I said, that you're a pastor. Yes.
By name?
I said that Aposteli Chibuzor.
Okay, allegedly.
Yes.
Okay.
He said that after all, he's a man. He has flesh and blood running in his vein. In my head.
He was saying this to you?
Yes. In my head, I was trying to comprehend like where this whole idea or whatever it was coming from. So I told him, I said, what if I say no? What if I say no? I want to say no. I don't want to do it. He said, just know that you cannot say no. You know me already. I do not take no for an answer. In fact, he got angry at that moment and said, why do you even think you can say no? You can't say no. I cannot take no for an answer. Who do you even think you are to want to say no to me? People, you do know how many ladies that are at my beck and calls. But it's just because I can't go to outside to start doing nonsense. I cannot do this because of who I am. This one, a general overseer. I'm bringing myself down to ask you for something like this. And you're saying no. Who do you think you are? You cannot say no. I was like, wow. But I still want to know, what if I say no? What to come with it? He said, in that case, be ready to leave my house. And if you're leaving my house, don't think that I will let you go just like that. Because I know people will start asking you, because people know I like you very well and that you are my daughter. So if you leave my house without you committing any crime, people will start asking questions. And I know you will talk. So if you leave my house, don't think I will just let you go like that. To me, that was a threat. It was a threat to me.
Allegedly, if it's what he said is a threat, yes.
Yes. So I don't know if I should say I thought about this whole thing. I could not think about it. I just told him that please, that I wanted to sleep. This thing was on a Saturday evening. I told him, please, I needed to sleep. I've heard you and I will think about it.
I remember the month.
Sorry?
I remember the month and the year.
This was in 2019, between March and April.
Okay.
Yes. I left his room that day. He was calling me back and I left his room. I went to my room where we do sleep with other children. I couldn't think. I don't know, I did not know what to do at that point and I was confused.
No.
I tried my best to avoid him throughout that day. Till the next day, we all went to church. I was in church and he was on the altar preaching. I wasn't seeing him. Everything I was saying was the things he was saying into my head. They keep sounding, they keep coming back, but I was just on my own. I was just there. Nobody knew what I was going through. We came back to the house that Sunday. I tried my possible best to avoid him. And then on Monday, he sent for me.
Oh, no.
On Monday, he sent for me. That the children came, Daddy, Auntie Lovett, Daddy's calling you. What will I tell the children? If I tell them to go and tell him that I'm not coming, what will I be explaining to them? So I just stood up and I went to meet him. He was like, are you still thinking? I'm sure you've made up your mind about this whole thing, that he doesn't know what I'm thinking about. After all, it's not like I'm a virgin. After all, that if I just agree, whatever I wanted, he will give me. Is it house? What is it that he cannot give me? Money. I'm planning for my wedding. He was going to give me the best wedding in Port Harcourt. Was going to do this. He started saying so many things. I was just looking at him. When he finished talking, I asked him, I said, I am aware that if I agree to this, it is going to be a hidden relationship, right? He said, yes. I said, fine. In this situation, what if I get pregnant? He said, is he a child? That he won't let me get pregnant. I said, it's not about being a child. Pregnancy can happen. So if you're saying you won't let me, it's the same thing that you have to use protection. Whatever will happen, if at all anything will happen. He said, but how do I expect him to go and get protection? What will he tell people he wants to use it for? Imagine if him going outside. I said, if that is the case, I will buy it for you. I asked him for money. He gave me 10,000 naira cash that day. And then I went out. I went to everyday supermarkets and I bought him a pack of Durex. Yes.
Durex, that's
came back to the house. Yes, came back to the house, gave it to him. He was just looking at me and I left. So the next day, he was actually still asking. I have thought about the whole thing because honestly, it's not like I haven't been in a relationship. But someone like him, that wasn't it. He kept asking for the sex. So after that day in church, I kept saying it, I don't want to marry this guy. His sisters, his workers, everyone in the compound that time, even in church, knew that Lover said she did not want to marry, but Daddy was asking her to marry. Now, the problem is nobody knew what I was actually going through. Nobody knew what was the problem. And I couldn't have told anybody. Okay, imagine now, this whole story is out. People still don't want to believe. So imagine if I had said it then, who would have believed me?
Right.
Nobody would have believed me. So single time he refuses to use the protection.
Are you serious?
And I made sure I always reminded him. I said, I asked you to use protection and you're always refusing. He said, I am not called the shots. I can't tell him what to do in his house. So he called the shots and he decides what happened. And I kept telling him, don't get me pregnant and expect me to go for abortion, because I will not. Yeah. I told him this. He said I should stop preaching. I said, no problem. He kept having his way. Now, this whole thing started in March.
When you say he kept having his way, what do you mean by that?
When I mean that, he kept demanding for sex.
Was he? Yes. Did it happen? Did he sleep with you? Did they have sex with you?
And it happened. Yes. He kept sleeping with me without protection.
Okay.
So, meanwhile, the guy I was supposed to marry was still planning for the marriage. So, I approached Apostle and I told him, I said, please, you are the general overseer of OPM, and I'm having an affair with you. And the person who wants to marry me is an usher in the church. I don't think I can do this
anymore.
I don't want to put myself in the middle. I don't want to go ahead with this marriage whatsoever. At least let me know I'm dealing with one thing.
Yes.
I don't want to go ahead with the marriage. He said, no, if you go ahead with the marriage, what if the guy did not agree? What if people start suspecting? I said, suspect what? I don't want to go ahead with the marriage. This guy is an usher in your church. What do you think? So after the whole end of the day, after this whole affair and everything, I get married to this guy, and then I'll go to church and I'll be looking at the both of you. I don't want to put myself in this. He refused. So I couldn't keep quiet about it. I went to church that week. I met this guy. I told him, please, I don't want to go ahead with this marriage. I'm calling it off.
Yes.
The guy fled up and said one man was deceiving me. Somebody wants to take me away from him. He's not going to let me go. He has prayed. God told him and his wife, this and that. He was saying stuff. I left him because he started ranting and was shouting and was talking. I left him. This was in church. So before I knew it, the guy has gone to marriage committee, our assistant pastor, reported to so many people that he doesn't know who is trying to take me away from him because people knew us in the church. So they called me that day in Apostle's office. And Apostle started asking me why I wanted to call off the marriage in front of people. He was not the one asking me why I wanted to call off the marriage. So I just told him, I don't want to marry the guy again. I don't want to go ahead with it. Because I knew at that time I couldn't say anything. So he was now that, I have told you, you have already told me this thing in the house. And I told you, don't worry, go ahead with the marriage. I'll set you up. I'll set the guy up. I'll do this. People will be okay. This one, that. I said that it's not about setting us up.
Okay,
so I told him, I don't want to go ahead with this marriage. He now said, in front of people were there in his office. He now said, I shouldn't worry about it. I'm just a child. That love grows. So when we get married after a while, that love will grow. I said, it's not about love. I personally do not want this marriage again. He refused, and I was objecting to it. So people started saying that why am I being disobedient? Why am I disobeying Apostle? That I'm ungrateful. Apostle picked me up, brought me up, and now Apostle is talking and I cannot obey him. The whole people in the church started saying I was ungrateful, I was a riffraff, I was a rat to even stand in front of Apostle and disobey him and stuff like that. And I left the office. That meeting was closed. We came back to the house. He would that he's sorry. That he saw the way people were talking to me, that he's sorry. I didn't answer him. That wasn't it. He kept asking for the sex. So after that day in church, I kept saying it, I don't want to marry this guy. His sisters, his workers, everyone in the compound that time, even in church, knew that Lover said she did not want to marry, but Daddy was asking her to marry. Now, the problem is nobody knew what I was actually going through. Nobody knew what was the problem. And I couldn't have told anybody. Okay, imagine now, this whole story is out. People still don't want to believe. So imagine if I had said it then, who would have believed me?
Right.
Nobody would have believed me. So I just kept quiet.
Hold on. You went to a lab to do the blood test.
Yes. I went to a lab.
What's the name of the lab?
I actually can't remember, but I have that test result with me.
Okay.
That particular test result, I have it with me, and I still remember the hospital address.
Okay, good.
Yes. So I gave it to him. He saw it and was like, okay, you know what? Hold on, we will talk. Let me attend to my visitors. When he was done, he now called me. It was in his golden parlor. We went to his parlor. And then he started asking me that, what are we going to do? I said, we don't have to do anything. What are we going to do? This was your plan and you've succeeded. So why are you asking me what we are going to do? I told you I won't go for abortion, so you shouldn't even bring that idea. He said, what of your mother-in-law? I said, she's there. She's in the village. And I said, won't she know? I said, I don't know. He now said, but then you have to abort it. I said, I will not.
He said that to you that you should abort it.
Yes, he said I should abort it. I told him I will not abort it. I made it clear to you, use protection, but you refuse. So this is the consequences of it, and I will not abort the pregnancy. Okay, come to even think of it. Day before yesterday was my wedding, and you're asking me to go for an abortion 2 days later. What if I don't get pregnant again? He said, don't worry, after the abortion, I'll pray for you. I said, I don't want.
He said that to you?
Yes. I said, I don't want. And that was it. I left him because he wanted to make an issue out of it. You have to abort it. What if you now have the baby and people get to know? I said, are you even thinking about my own life at all? What if something happens to me? He said, after all, you're not the first. So many people must still die. Is it you that will not come and die? I didn't answer him. I just walked out and I left him. Came back to my house.
You're not the first. That means allegedly he has been doing that.
Probably, as of then. I left his house. That was on a Monday night. I left his house, go back to my house. The day was over. I went to sleep. The next day was 23rd, which was Tuesday. When I woke up in the morning, as usual, picked up my phone, I saw an alert, 100,000 naira.
From
so
who?
If I am to trace my bank statements, there will be an alert from him, 100,000 naira to my account. And he also sent me a WhatsApp message. I have sent you money for the abortion, so you can go and do it. I said, okay, I don't hear. I didn't say any other thing to him. Later that day, he was calling me to ask me if I did it. I said, yes. I didn't want to talk to him. I just left. So, and that was it. A week passed, 2 weeks passed. So sometimes I was just thinking, I was like, what's the point of keeping the pregnancy away from him? He has to know. He has to be there. He has to get involved.
Right.
So I reached out to him and I told him I wanted to tell you something. He said, let him guess. I said, okay. He said, you did not have the abortion. I said, fine, you know, I did not do it. And I said, okay, thank God. Since I sent you that money, I've not been at peace. I've not done this. I've not done that. What if it's a baby boy? I was just thinking, have you gone for antenatal? I said, no. He said, okay, I'll send you money. You have to do it. And I started antenatal. He was supportive and all. After the marriage, I left his house. And he continued the sex with someone else.
How do you know about that?
Fine. We were all in the house. And he had already started having sex with other girls before I left the house. So we all know about this.
How did you know? Can you prove to me how you got to know?
We talk to ourselves. We all know ourselves and we talk to ourselves.
What's the name of the person?
There was Joy Joshua. There was Favor.
And they live there?
There was other people. Yes. It wasn't one. Yes. So I started attending antenatal and everything. He was supportive. Everything was going on well. And I was with my husband. So there was a day I was having problem. I think I was having abdominal pain. And I actually passed out in the house. My husband took me to the hospital. So it was the doctor in the hospital that confirmed to my husband that I was 7 weeks pregnant. Before now, he wasn't aware I was pregnant. The doctor confirmed in the hospital to my husband I was 7 weeks pregnant. My husband was like, doctor, we just married 2-3 weeks ago. Which one are you saying 7 weeks? And I've not touched her except for the... Before, the next day, I was back to the house. When I got to the house, Apostle called me. Now, where is my husband? I said, he's in the house. Say, give him phone. He started shouting for him. Why will you go and call Mrs. Ezendibo that your wife is pregnant? Must you tell everybody your problem? Must you tell everybody this? Can't you keep your problem to yourself? And the guy was like, that he just find out, and the thing was a shock to him. So he needed to tell somebody about to say, okay, if your wife does anything, you want to report it to anybody, report it to me. Don't go and start reporting it to someone else. This guy respects him so much and would never, ever think that he was actually behind it. So he told him, okay, daddy. And that was it. The guy never thought if any issue arises, he will call him. That this is what my wife is doing. No, my wife is this. My wife will not allow me to touch her. My wife will not do this. You say, don't worry, I will talk to her. You know, she's pregnant. Take it easy with it. Stuff like that. And the guy was buying it. So 3 months into the pregnancy, someone else got pregnant for him.
Someone else?
Yes, someone else.
By who? What's the name of
Joy Joshua.
Joy Joshua. Where is she now?
She's currently in Lagos.
Does she have the baby?
Yeah, she has the baby.
She's in Lagos with the baby?
Yes.
Do you have her contact?
I don't have her contact, but currently she has been on my DM these few days.
Okay. No, I'm asking you.
No, sir.
All you're telling me now, I'm going to investigate this matter before I move on.
No problem, sir. No problem.
You understand? Because if this is the outside of the story, you're telling me, right?
Yes. Yes.
Because that's what we call character defamation.
Yes.
Character defamation is when you say something that is not true.
Yes.
So if the person now go to court to sue you, the person have to prove beyond reasonable fact that this is not true. Or
Okay.
if it's not evidence, the person will lose the case. So I think I know he might have intelligent people around him, but they should tell him the truth. So we're not doing chess play here. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Go on. Don't be scared.
So that was it. And then 3 months into the pregnancy, someone else actually got pregnant for him. And there he came and started telling me that someone told him that I was having an affair with my ex-boyfriend when I was in his house. So that the pregnancy is not his own, that he is not responsible. So that I should not come and give him another man's child and expect him to take care of the baby. I was like, where is that information coming from? I was not in any relationship before I came to your house. The person I was with at that time, we had broken up. When I came to your house, I was not with anybody. So where is that kind of information coming from? He said he got it from a reliable source. I said, anyway, that is not my problem because I know it is a lie. He said, okay, I should bear it at the back of my mind that he will not be taking care of me and the pregnancy again until I deliver. And then we go for a DNA test.
Beautiful.
I said, thank God there is even a DNA test. At least you will get to know the truth. And I actually thought it was a joke. He refused taking responsibility for the pregnancy. You call him, he won't answer you. You send him message, he will not respond. Once in 2 months, he will send you 50,000. You can stay and say, probably by the time I have gotten angry and talk and cry, maybe sometimes after getting angry and begging him, I will now stop getting angry, I will start begging him. That's when he will send money. So at that point, it was as if I was now forcing him to take responsibility. He kept telling me he doesn't want to invest in another man's child. And at that point, after a while, I got into depression. So many things started happening. Throughout the pregnancy, I was always alone. I couldn't tell anybody. Every single time I told him, if you continue with this, I'll be forced to tell somebody about it. He said, if you tell anybody about this thing, he will threaten me. You don't know you're dealing with something that will consume you and your whole family. He will do this, he will do that. So fast forward to 2020, March, I had the child. 21st March.
How old is this child now?
It's currently 3 years and 3 months.
Okay.
So fast forward to 2020, March 21st, I had the baby. He requested for a picture. I sent him a picture and he was like, okay, I'm sending you 100,000 now. Go and buy AC. Put inside the room where the baby will be sleeping. I don't want him to sweat till I do DNA test.
Do you still have the account number he's using to send this money?
I have, yes, it's still the same account. On the 21st of March 2020 in the evening.
So if we call for a statement of account, we are going to see this.
Yes, you will see it. 100,000 on 21st of March.
Okay.
Yes. So.
No, the same phone. It's not the same phone. Is this the same phone you're using right now?
No, it's not the same phone I'm using right now.
Okay.
Yes. So after that day, I still did not answer him. I went to the house. Even after the baby was born, he was actually his very carbon copy. He still refused to take responsibility. That being said, this thing kept happening. 2021, he sent Chinedu outside. He kept telling me he would do a DNA test. The baby was 1 year, no DNA test. 2 years, no DNA test. He kept promising, nothing came up. We were still beating around the bush. Today, at some point, I told him, you have to do this DNA test. If not, I will tell people about it. He said nobody can force him to do a DNA test. That he can only do it when his spirit tells him to do it. That nobody can force him to do a DNA test. So at that point, I knew probably he needed more people to talk to him. Now, the DPO that handled this case in Alu police station, I went to this DPO. I complained to him.
So he's aware?
Yes, he's aware.
Okay.
The DPO confronted him. He accepted that the child is his own, but that his problem is that I am asking him to marry me. I said, marry you, okay? Marry who? Me. That
have you ever said so?
Sorry, sir.
Have you ever said he should marry you?
Never, ever. I have never. Why will I tell him to marry me when everybody already knows I was married as of that time?
Right.
Yes. And the DPO said he told him that, but The only thing I said is that I want him to take responsibility. If he's doubting paternity, he should go for a DNA test. That he doesn't think it will take him anything to do this thing. So why is he making it an issue? He kept saying, okay, he will do it, he will do it. The DPO now asked him, I would like to bring this girl to your house and I'll come with her. Let her use her mouth and tell you what her problem is. Me and the DPO went to his house.
You and DPO went to his house?
Yes. We went to his house. We got to his house, we got to his parlor, and we were in a meeting. If I want to talk what has been happening, he will start telling me I am being ungrateful, that I should see those students he sent to Turkey, he sent to Cyprus, he did this, he do this one. I said, that is not why we are here. That is not why we are here. I'm talking about your child and you're talking about people you sent outside. How does these two issues relate? You say, you see why I'm saying she's ungrateful? You see why I'm saying she's ungrateful? So we couldn't understand. At some point, he was talking, I talked back at him, and the DPO was like, don't talk back at him. Allow him to talk. So I kept quiet. He kept saying I was ungrateful. I was this. This is the reason why he doesn't want to take care of the boy. He doesn't want to do this. After all, I'm married. Now, why can't I just let my husband take responsibility? I say, who does that? Someone else. Father, the child, and someone else. As at this time, my husband was already in Dubai.
Oh, okay.
And was still not aware of the truth. So, the DPO now, I now told him, what you're talking about is not why we are here. The DPO now said, this girl wants to start a business so she can move on with her life.
Exactly.
Maybe you fix some amount of money for the boy's upkeep. Give her money to start business so that she can go and live her life. He now say, so that what kind of business do I want? I said, I would love to set up a unisex salon, both male and female. He said, okay, I should make a list and go and give the welfare department. The DPO say, how does welfare come into this matter? This is you and her. Whatever you want to do, keep it between you and her.
Right.
Welfare coming inside tomorrow, sir, you will say she went to report you. So keep it between you and her. He said, okay, in that case, unisex salon, how much is it? 500,000. I said, 500,000 for a unisex salon. Is it for the equipment? Is it for the shop? Or which one? He said, please, he cannot do more than that. He cannot do. In fact, he has visitors. Before we know it, he called his PA to call the other visitors that were waiting for him. And we were discharged like that. And we left. We left his house. The DPO said he will get to the end of that matter. He kept calling him. At some point, he said, if I cannot take 500,000, he will give 800. I said, I am not taking. I am telling you to set up a standard business for me, so I can focus on my life and forget about this whole child or no child. If tomorrow I have financial need for this child, and you're not available, I can as well from the business take care of the child without having to call you. I am tired. It's been 3 years. I just want to move on and live my life. He will just be looking at me that I don't know what I'm talking about. So the DPO kept pressurizing him. He now said, so at some point, I told the DPO, sir, I will take this thing to public. This was last year. I told him, sir, I will take this thing to public.
Last year when?
Last year, January.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, viewers, we're not seeing her face very well because it's already late. She's in Nigeria while I'm in the States. Go ahead.
So I told him, sir, I will take this thing to the media because I am tired of trying to talk to this man all by myself. He did not say anything. He was just like, when he heard media, he was scared. He now said, okay, tell her, I'll give her 1 million. The DPO said, it is still too small.
Exactly.
So we kept talking and talking and talking. At the end of the day, DPO said, okay, if you can just make it 2 million, let us see what she can do out of the money. He said, okay, 2 million, 2 million. Outside that 2 million naira, nothing again. If he's giving me the 2 million naira, I should be paying the baby school fees from there. I should be feeding the child from there. In fact, I should take care of the child from the 2 million. The DPO says, sir, what do you mean? 2 million naira to take care of a child and start up a standard business.
The DPO is interceding between.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The DPO was always calling him and talking to him. He was saying, in fact, that is what he can give me last. I should go and take care of the child with the money. I said, if you're giving me 2 million naira to set up a standard unisex salon, at the same time, pay the child school fees, feed him from there. I myself, I have needs. So will I still be doing that from the money? And at the end of the year, I will still be paying the shop rent? He said, okay, in that case, he will be paying the shop rent. In that case, he will be paying the shop rent. The DPO can testify to this. To some point, the truth is that I wanted to walk away. I wanted to go and live my life because the drama was too much.
No.
I was in a middle. Everything was always happening. Sometimes I can send him a message. He will read it and finish. He will not answer you. You keep repeating the same message for 3-4 days before he will say anything. This 2 million naira did not come at once.
No.
The 2 million naira came 2 times, 3 months apart. It did not come directly to my account. It went through the DPO's account. So he can testify to this.
Okay.
The shop was rented in February.
Which year?
Yes, March, April was when he brought the first 1 million.
Which year?
Meanwhile, was it last year? Yes, last year, 2022. The shop was rented in February. March, April was when he brought the first 1 million. Now, 2 months has gone from the shop. The first 1 million, I used it in buying equipment and other things. It still wasn't enough. I put it up in the shop. And then I reached out to him. I've used the 1 million and I've gotten some of the things. Please, the remaining 1 million. He said, okay, hold on, I'll give you. The first 1 million came in April. May, June was when the second 1 million naira came. The DPO can testify to this. Now, this same June was when his wife came back. After he sent the 1 million naira, I bought a few things I could buy, sports hairs. Now, this money was also for the baby's upkeep, his school fees. So there's no way I will carry all of them and put in the business.
Right.
So about 1.5 went into the shop. I kept 500,000. We had things we needed in the house, daily upkeep, school fees. I have my younger sister living with me and she's going to school.
Wow.
I pay her transport every day. So now, his wife came back that same June and his wife heard about the whole thing. I don't know who she heard it from. She made her investigation. They gave her my contact and she called me.
The wife
When
called
me. Yes, she called me and started asking me things that she has already known the truth, but that she wants to hear the truth from me and she expects me to tell her the truth.
What's the name of the wife?
Nkechinyere.
Nkechinyere who?
Yes, Nkechinyere Chibuzor.
Okay.
She called me and said that she has already known everything, but that she wants me to tell her the truth because she has already prayed to God and that she has already told herself that she has heard all of us that are pregnant for her husband. We did this, we did that. So any of us that choose to tell her the truth, she will forgive the person. But that anybody will lie to her, anybody that will lie to her or anything, that the person will have God to contend with. The truth is that Apostle was not protecting me. He wasn't protecting my child. He did not care. So I had no reason hiding what has been happening. I told his wife the truth. I told her everything.
Right.
She now said that according to what she has been hearing, that she heard my child resemble her husband very well. I said I wouldn't know. She now said, okay, can she call me on a video call to see the baby? She had asked for my child's picture. I said, I'm sorry, I can't send his picture to you. He said, okay, can she call me on a video call to see him? I said, fine. She called me on WhatsApp, video call.
She did?
Yes, she did call me.
Last year?
Yes, last year, July. Yes, June, July. She saw my child. While she was on this video call, she saw my child. She was taking screenshots.
How do you know?
The call, now, after the call, because she has been asking her husband, and he has been lying that he doesn't have any child with me. That the only person he has a child with is with Joy. That he doesn't have a child with me. So, now, I believe she actually took those screenshots to prove to her husband that she talked to me.
Yes.
And that this is the child you have been denying. So she took screenshots and then went ahead to send the screenshot to her husband. I talked to Lovett, this one, that one. It was on a Sunday night. Now, before this day, I have not been talking to Apostle for like 2-3 weeks. I've not sent him message. He has not sent me message. So I was surprised. It was around this time, 8 o'clock, like this. After the morning, the wife called me in the morning. The evening of that same Sunday, he sent me a message. And the message read, I have received your message. Expect mine. That was the message he sent to me. That was it. And then I was scared. Anybody in my shoe would be scared.
Right.
I cannot be subjected to blackmail. Aposteli Chibuzor Chinyere reacts to the allegations by his alleged baby mama. Founder of Omega Power Ministries (OPM), Apostle Chibuzor Chinyere, has reacted to the accusations laid against him by his alleged baby mama. Recall that a while back, Happy Boys, the security guards he sponsored to Cyprus, called him out and accused him of abandoning them there. The late Deborah's family also called him out and accused him of moving them to a new location and abandoning them. Another accusation came up from a lady who claimed to be his baby mama and revealed that the clergyman forced her into an intimate relationship despite knowing she was engaged to an usher in his church. Reacting to all the accusations against him, the pastor took to Facebook to release an official statement and reveal that he was being blackmailed. According to him, a doctor was demanding $1 million from him, but he would not be subjected to it, as he would use the money to help the less privileged. He wrote, "Apostle Chibuzor cannot be subjected to blackmail. I have been reading comments on social media posts concerning the allegations against OPM, and I see so many people blaming the Happy Boys that was sent by Apostle Chibuzor G. Chinyere to Cyprus. They are not responsible for the blackmail. There is a supposed doctor in US that called Daddy OPM, demanding for $1 million from him or his group will fight him. He said they operate in West Africa, Europe, America, and made a list of some prominent Nigerians that has said to them. Apostle, as a man whose passion is to help the less privileged and put smiles on people's faces, would rather use that money to bless more lives because that is what will make God happy. First, they recruited the Happy Boys, then fabricated news about late Miss Deborah's family, which all turned out to be fake. This said person is busy bringing up strategies and recruiting people against the man of God, promising to relocate them and their families to America. That him and his team are in partnership with Simmons University, USA. We reached out to the president, Simmons University, and sadly they confirmed that they don't know him. This same man promised to connect the Happy Boys to the president of Cyprus and take them to America. That's the reason the Happy Boys said OPM abandoned them and refused the flight ticket that was bought for them. If they need help, Apostle would generously help them, but trying to gain through blackmail will not work. The offerings and tithes are for the work of God and to help the less privileged. For more than 12 years, God has been using his daddy, OPM, to help the less privileged, and he will never stop or be discouraged.
Disclaimer: the information provided by the speaker or presenter on the World TV platform during this broadcast is for general informational purposes only. All information in this broadcast is provided in good faith. However, we make no representation or warranty of any kind, expressed or implied, regarding the accuracy, adequacy, validity, reliability, availability, or completeness of the information. The broadcaster of the channel may not and cannot be held accountable for the views, opinions, and comments made by callers during this broadcast. World TV is a contemporary Nigerian news and entertainment TV program born from the need to fuse the popular indigenous Yoruba culture into the growing entertainment industry of Nigeria and the rest of the world.